Hi, this is Kodiak Art. I'm Isaac Fortner. I am a oil painter, artist kind of all around. I do draw, and most of what I was doing, I guess, in my early artistry in my life was pen and ink. And recently I have started doing oil painting in probably the last year, but I have done watercolor and acrylic before. It just never has been my forte. But I'm in college right now. I'm getting my BFA, Bachelor's in Fine Arts, in studio drawing and painting. So I can't ignore painting anymore. I had to delve right into it. And it's been a ton of fun. I've been learning a lot, and it's been great. And I feel like sorry, it's the dog. Hey, Maverick, be quiet, please. I've been learning a lot of techniques, but I felt like I was able to acclimate to oil painting really fast from just doing my pen and inks beforehand. And I've been really enjoying the process and how different it is than my drawings. And that's been really enjoyable for me. And I feel like I've already kind of found my voice to a certain extent. And I've started doing commissions, which is super exciting. And I've only done a couple drawing commissions in my life, maybe like 4 or 5. But for painting commissions, this is my second one right now, and I've kind of been having a blast with it. I just finished my semester, my first junior semester, my fall semester of junior year in college. I just finished making this huge portfolio of paintings, which I will show y'all probably in a different video, but it's super exciting. And I've been really happy with the progress I've been making in my oil paintings. So I kind of want to just talk about this second commission that I've been doing and a little bit of the process. So in this whole oil painting series I've been doing for the semester and kind of sticking to a little bit with my commissions has been making these self-portraits that are kind of just abstracted landscapes. It's not like I'm painting myself as a human. I guess I'm putting my emotions in the season I'm in with the pressure, my goals, my fears, my spirituality. I'm kind of putting that all on the canvas within a landscape in different kind of expressive ways. But it's been fun because I can keep things loose and I can keep things playful and then really show kind of a cool variety of emotions and color schemes and all this fun stuff. So it's been really fun. And I think probably one of the most fun things has been learning color and using color correctly. Drawing and me drawing probably for 18 years. Sorry, actually, no, I'm 20 years old. So I probably started drawing maybe when I was 6 or 5, drawing little monsters and creatures. And then I started doing, I think one of the first books I had was a How to Draw Dragons. And so maybe when I was 8, I started learning how to draw dragons. And that was when I started taking my drawing seriously. So I guess from ages 6 to 18, I had been drawing and not really using any color. Sometimes I would do a watercolor background that's just a solid color over black and white ink. But for the most part, not really delving too much into color theory in kind of a traditional oil painting kind of sense. I always knew the red and green complementary and the primary colors and sure, I knew those things, but it's been really fun delving into it on a more intense and complex level with oil paintings. And I guess some examples of how that's been implemented is I started with this very yellow ochre kind of underpainting, and I love making it very strokey. And I do a lot of linseed oil to thin it out. I didn't do any paint thinner or odorless mineral spirits. This is just linseed oil. And I started off by doing this kind of darkish brown, almost it leans a little purple on top of my underpainting. And then today, after it's dried a little bit, I came in with this white that had a little bit of gold in it. And then I started putting in the complementary blue because it was a tan that was leaning orange almost, and so I did like a purplish blue that leaned a little more blue than purple. And so that was the complementary, and it doesn't look like jarring to the eyes. It has settled on the canvas really well. I don't know if you can see it all that well with the lighting in here. But yeah, like small stuff like that. And I've really been enjoying the process of making these paintings, especially because big paintings, because I don't really like doing small stuff. I had been doing small stuff almost my whole life with pen and ink. Like I just have an 8.5 by 11 paper, and I just spend like 40 hours doing pen and ink on it. And like that has its place. It is meditative, but also like a little painful. But with landscape paintings in my little series that I've been doing, I like do big scale. I like things to be fast and expressive and painterly. And so I've been sticking to that, and it's been a lot of fun. And it's not too different from, I guess, what I would do in pen and ink. Like pen and ink would be landscapes for me and creatures. I guess I've drawn a little bit away from creatures, and I haven't really done any creatures in painting. Maybe I'll explore that later in my painting career, but for now I've been wanting to stick to a series, so that's why it's been self-portrait abstract landscapes, which of course I think I will do a separate video explaining exactly what that means. But for now, like, I'm just explaining, I guess, where I'm at as a painter and my second commission. So with my paintings, I don't, draw really any draft or get any inspiration from outside photos. I know with my drawings, I have a couple books that I've like accumulated over the years of Hokusai, who is like one of my favorite artists. Like the 36 Views of Mount Fuji, Hokusai and his landscape paintings, or I guess prints. And then I love Van Gogh. He's the first oil painter I ever fell in love with, and there's a story behind that because he was also kind of the first oil painter I saw in a museum. And then, of course, like, I love the post-impressionist and impressionist and all that mumbo-jumbo, and I like the classical stuff as well. But, with my drawings, I would look at books that I've accumulated and find kind of inspiration for what I want my drawings to look like. But for paintings, I've gone all imagination. Well, actually, my drawings were all imagination as well. It's not like I was looking at a mountain and then drawing the mountain. Like, I would be looking at an inspiration for, I guess, a composition maybe, or maybe just a vibe. I don't know if that's really the right word to use, but I feel like that explains it the most, is I would look for a vibe within this Hokusai print, and then I would kind of put my spin on it and use that vibe for my drawings in my pen and ink. With my paintings, it's kind of been an opposite story, and I've like kind of been flipping my process upside down from what I've been used to with my drawings, which has been, again, a lot of fun. Sorry to sound repetitive, but it has. And so I kind of just start with an underpainting, and that looks like just with one color, really. I guess you can call it a ground layer because I'm just putting a color on the canvas. I'm not necessarily I'm not doing like an open grisaille or closed grisaille or any of that mumbo jumbo. What I've been doing is just doing this ground layer of thin linseed and doing kind of almost yellows, mainly yellows in this strokey horizontal and vertical pattern. I like it because it kind of flattens out the picture, and I like when things flatten out because, again, I'm a big print guy. I love prints. I like flattening a landscape out, and I like making the illusion of space, of course, who doesn't? So for this one specifically, I had to make a draft on my iPad for my client just to make sure they were happy with where I was wanting to go. And then I've kind of been changing things up from what my draft looks like, which I will disclose with them later and be like, hey, are you cool with this? Do you want any changes to it? And, I won't be bugged if they're like, oh yeah, change the whole thing. So, well, actually, I will be bugged because I would say 80% of this is like really on point to the draft. But if they want to change like the little sky, I think the sky is the main difference. If they want to change the sky, then I won't be bugged with that. I think it looks pretty though. I just want to show y'all what it looks like right now, and then maybe I'll make a couple clips of how it came out afterwards. But I would say I'm like 50% done. and then I will describe, I guess, my full process when we get there. But yeah, let me just show y'all what I got going real quick. So yeah, there's that blue. I know it's kind of hard to see with the glare, but this is my sky. I'm gonna add a moon in there. I think what I want is like, I want the sun. I guess the sun would be probably coming in from like right here, shining on this landscape. And then I want the moon to be maybe falling in the background, like right there. So it's, I guess, night. It's like a sunset, but coming from the opposite way, you know? But yeah, this is where I'm at. Very cool. Thank y'all for your time. I'm excited to show you the next step. Bye.